Dr. Dan Caliendo was working on his farm when a bale of hay he was moving, weighing more than a half a ton, broke loose, crushing him under its enormous weight. Off-duty paramedic and friend Jim Schmidt did what little he could for Dan until rescue units could arrive.
John, I need you to take Miss Caliendo's place here. Get some support here, will you? He was in a lot of pain. It surprised me that he was conscious at all, knowing how much these hay bales weigh. Okay, does it hurt where I'm pushing? Oh, okay, okay, I'll try.
At the time, I was thinking, I wish it was me. I think I could handle the pain myself better than watching my loved one go through it.
Not having ever seen a back look like that, I wasn't sure that there was any form of stabilization that we could do that would give him any hope to salvaging any movement, but we had to try.
Good stabilization. We'll go ahead and move the KED into play.
It really gets you. There's just that knot in your throat because it's someone that you know and that you care about. There's a lot more pressure to keep your cool and do things right. Do them the way he taught you.
Okay, Johnny's coming to you. Nice and easy, guys. Got him? Got him. Leg.
He was starting to have some difficulty in breathing. It ran through my mind that we've got a person that's going into deep, irreversible shock. We didn't have a moment to lose.
I wanted to go with him really bad on the helicopter. I didn't want to be separated from him at that point. But there wasn't enough room and I couldn't. Dan and I have always been very close. I love him with all my heart. I wouldn't want to live if anything happened to him.
When I saw that helicopter lift off, the very first thought that came to my mind was a little silent prayer that this won't be the last time that I was ever going to see Dr. C.
Dan was taken to the emergency room of HCA Wesley Medical Center, the same place he worked, and put under the care of a team of people who'd known him for years, including trauma surgeon Paul Harrison.
Dan, how you doing? He looked up at me and said, "Paul, I really screwed up this time." And that really floored me. I couldn't think of anything to say in response.
It hurt here, Dan?
When I first felt Dan's chest, it was like feeling a piece of packing material that crackled as you pushed and moved it. The ribs were broken in so many places that it had lost its structural integrity.
X-ray?
T10 and...
When I was able to see the x-rays of Dan's spine, there was so much displacement of one bone from another, I knew that he would never walk again.
Dan's son Scott and his daughter Stephanie rushed to the hospital as soon as they heard about the accident.
It was very scary to see my father like that because he's always taken care of me. And it's him laying there helpless and there's nothing I can do in the world to help him other than just be there and love him and pray for him.
Nobody knew at that time if he was going to live or die.
I love you. You want something to write with?
I told him that I loved him, and he motioned for something to write with. When he wrote, "I love you" on that pad of paper,
I love you too, Dad.
it put a lump in my throat and brought a tear or two to my eyes, because those words haven't been said between us in I don't know how long.
I know it's a tough call.
He said the nights were really long and he was in a lot of pain. So his brother Richard and I would take shifts, so one of us would be up with him all night.
It's all of you, half of you, none of you. Dan did not want to live in this condition. He and I spent, 90 gut-wrenching nights arguing over whether he should live or not live, and I just said, whatever it takes, I'm going to see that Dan makes it through this, and if it takes 3 days or 3 weeks or 3 months or 3 years or 30 years, I didn't care.
Okay, and push.
I didn't know whether I was ever going to be able to roll over in bed by myself or whether I'd ever be able to reach over and pick up something off the floor.
See if you can take one arm up and then try to bring the other one up a little bit.
It was very scary.
What you're starting to do is show some really good...
I can't imagine going through this without my family at my side.
Feel some tightness. When it feels tight, you can stop there.
A year has passed since the farming accident that changed Dan's life.
I was aware of the danger, and it could have been prevented. For probably 2 weeks after the accident, I really kicked myself for being so stupid.
If my mom wouldn't have been out there with him when it happened, he could have very easily died. It was a miracle that she was there. It saved his life.
The first few months after the injury, I was almost constantly aware of being paralyzed. Everything I did, I kind of thought, should a paraplegic do this, or should I say this if I'm a paraplegic? And I'm losing that. I think I'm a normal person, if I ever was normal. And there's some of my friends will argue about that, but I think I'm getting back to my usual self. Okay. That's probably why you got a fever, got a red ear.
He was back to work in 3 months, which amazed everybody. The first patient he saw was a great dose of medicine for himself.
Hello, Kim, I'm Dr. Caliendo. I've done a lot of things I didn't think I'd be able to do already. Did the pain hit you? We all have our limitations. I had them before my injury. I've got different ones and more now, but they're becoming fewer and fewer as time goes by. Yeah.
I've always been very proud of my dad. Long before he had his accident, I've always thought he was pretty much one of the best guys there ever was. But I find myself trying to spend more time with him than I did. You just kind of get reminded that, hey, he's not always going to be there, and you better make the most of the time you've got.
I don't know how to describe love. Don't know how to measure it. Mary Jo and I have always been close, but we've just really bonded more than I thought was possible.
With the love that we have for each other, I think we're going to make it. And I'm looking forward to spending the rest of my life with him.
I'm glad you decided to stay here.
Next.
I've got to find everybody. I don't know where they are, but I've got to find them. All of a sudden, there was a flash, and it was just fire everywhere.